Jamaica Brown, Progress Texas board member. I love Progress Texas because while like the statement they say is campaigns may come and go, but Progress Texas is here year round to provide media and information to every Texas voter to let them know what's going on every day and how it affects their lives. We learned a lot. We saw some things that we can change and how we can adapt. I think we look to our wins and our victories that we had this past election. I think we celebrate that we now officially have 2 black women in the Senate. I think we celebrate that we have elected our first openly gay member of Congress from the South. And I think we look at that we've elected our first trans member of Congress, and we celebrate those wins and how do we support them and how do we continue to fight.
Jamaica is not only one of our beloved board members, but also now working up in D.C. alongside the newly elected Congresswoman Julie Johnson. Hi, Jamaica. It's Friday, March 7th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. When we talk about the Overton window, the range of political topics that are considered fair game for discussion or debate by most mainstream folks at any given time, this first bit to me indicates that the Overton window in Texas has been yanked violently to the right, and also to say towards the economic top. What I mean by that is, let's say 10 years ago, would both the governor of Texas and our state's wealthiest industrialist be publicly celebrating the firing of an everyday middle-class government worker who has done very little but resist a minor and arbitrary email policy? Just a few years ago, something like that would be an incredibly classless move and terrible optics. But this morning, here's the headline from Arum Salam at The Guardian. Quote, Elon Musk and Texas governor celebrate firing of worker over pronouns in email signature. Unquote. We told you yesterday about the firing of 31-year-old Frank Zamora from his job in Austin as a program manager for the Texas Real Estate Commission, a regular Joe state government job if there ever was one that Zamora enjoyed very much and did very well, according to his supervisors, but Zamora couldn't stomach being forced to comply with an order that went against his personal beliefs and was terminated for standing by those beliefs. Governor Abbott later shared an article on Zamora's firing from the Austin American-Statesman with his 1.4 million followers on Twitter, celebrating that, quote, a Texas state employee refused to remove pronouns from his email signature. He was fired before noon, unquote. And a bit later, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, offered up 2 fire emojis. 2 of the most powerful men on the planet yucking it up over their own complicity in a stupid policy that has cost a regular guy just like you and me his job. The punching down here should be appalling to any working person, and this serves as a reminder that politics is much more about top versus bottom than it is right versus left, and is also a reminder of what these guys think of any of us commoners who might even slightly step out of line. They don't care who you voted for, just don't dare question their instructions. This is rule by fear, and it's just getting started. By comparison, and sticking with Elon Musk here, we've also told you about the death of an electrician working under contract at the Tesla Gigafactory last summer, a cause taken up and amplified by Austin Congressman Greg Casar of late. Lauren McGowie at KUT in Austin says that in the case of the death of Victor Joe Gomez Sr. last August, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, the federal agency that enforces workplace safety standards, has determined that Tesla did not provide proper protective equipment and also allowed employees to work too closely to electric power circuits without warning, and has issued 3 fines against the electric car giant totaling, wait for it, just under $50,000. For scale here, consider that Tesla made $8.4 billion in net income last year, or a bit over $23 million per day, or about $959,000 per hour. A federal decision against Tesla in a case that resulted in the unnecessary death of yet another average working Texan is equivalent to that company's net income over the course of about 3 minutes. Victor Joe Gomez of Pleasanton left behind a wife, 7 kids, a daughter-in-law, and 5 grandchildren. And for setting up the deadly conditions that killed him, it cost just one of Elon Musk's several companies 3 minutes worth of income. Picture all of those Republicans cheering for Elon Musk during the Trump speech the other night, and understand, if you're not rich, they don't care about you at all. Vote carefully, my friends. Quite a start this Friday morning, and I'm afraid it doesn't get better very quickly here. Pivoting to the measles outbreak and another stunning headline that could only be written in the here and now. Adrian Ashford and Matt Kyle at the Dallas Morning News at the top say, quote, Fort Worth's Mercy Culture celebrates school with lowest measles vaccination rate in Texas, unquote. Yes, we told you a few days ago about newly released stats showing that a large number of parochial private schools in Texas just happen to carry some of the lowest rates of vaccination among their students. And indeed, Mercy Culture Preparatory in Fort Worth appears to be the lowest at just under 15% of its kids having received the vaccine against measles, mumps, and rubella. Well, Landon Schott, the pastor of the Cowtown megachurch that academy operates under, found that cause to jump for joy. He jumped on Instagram to proclaim, quote, shout out to MC Prep for being the least vaccinated school in Texas. I just want to congratulate all the family members of MC Prep that embrace freedom of health, and they're not allowing government or science projects to affect how you live and lead your life. Freedom is something we take seriously. Religious freedom, freedom of our health, unquote. Leaving out, of course, the freedom of the rest of us not to be infected by the diseases these people spread. Not to be outdone, Republican State Representative Nate Schatzline, in whose district all of this is happening, took to Twitter yesterday saying, quote, I've gotten word that my children's school has been ranked the #1 most unvaccinated school in Texas, and I'm upset that we haven't celebrated sooner, unquote. Libs, consider yourselves owned. And I'm afraid this problem goes all the way to the top at the moment, y'all. A CNN report says that just as CDC teams are arriving in Texas to try to get a grip on the measles outbreak in West Texas that has now reached 159 confirmed cases and likely contributed to the death of an adult patient in New Mexico, the second death involved with this outbreak. Rather than imploring people to get themselves and their kids vaccinated, new U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been on Fox News encouraging their audience to undertake a regimen of a steroid and antibiotic and cod liver oil recommended by 2 Texas doctors, one of whom was disciplined by the Texas Medical Board back in 2003 for unusual use of risk-filled medications. Kennedy told the highly gullible Fox News audience that this concoction being administered to measles patients around Gaines County has been resulting in, quote, almost miraculous and instantaneous recoveries, unquote, and can't make this shit up. I hate to roll into the weekend with this much ridiculous garbage all in one shot. But if you're in Austin, we do have an opportunity for you to shake off some of that frustration. Tomorrow morning, Saturday, March 8th, both Congressman Lloyd Doggett and the aforementioned Congressman Greg Casar will be addressing a rally on the south steps of the Texas Capitol. And they're bringing along one of their buds, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's been one of my heroes for a lot of years. This will be a good one. I'm planning to be there, so look for me and come say hi. Texas State Capitol South Steps, Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Hope to see you there. The annual Amplify Austin Day charity and nonprofit fundraiser wrapped up last night, and we want to thank everyone who contributed to the Progress Texas Institute this year. A bunch of our favorite folks here, and even more so now, Cheyenne Desharkar with Unified, Houston area religious freedom activist Will Judy, former and we hope future Democratic candidate Ben Leffler, Andre Triber with Austin City Council member Zoe Caudry's office, Diana and Jim Martin, Melissa Miller and Chula Sims, Katie Ehlers, Laura Davila, Elliot Oshman and Heather Roll, Morgan Daniels, Dove Woodland, Karen Sterling, Aaron Hines, and several anonymous donors. Guys, we thank you so much for your direct support of our podcast production efforts here at Progress Texas. Keep in mind that really the best way for you to keep our podcast coming and support the rest of the important and ongoing work we do here at Progress Texas is to become a regular monthly contributor. No amount is too small. Even 10 or 20 bucks a month really adds up for us. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Friday, March 7, 2025. Links to all of these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit, rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday.